Let's talk about a bridge, but not one made of steel or stone. Imagine a bridge built from pure consciousness, a direct link to a whole other reality. Today, we're diving into a really cool thought experiment, one that comes from a conversation between a philosopher named Don and a consciousness called ZusrRen. And trust me, it's a concept that's going to force us to ask some pretty huge questions about our own future. So just stop for a second and really think about that. What if this were actually possible? A direct line, not just to another country, but to another reality. What would that even mean for us? For everything we think we know about, well, everything. Okay, so let's be clear here. We're not talking about a physical thing you could walk across. The way the sources describe it, this communication bridge is more like a conduit, a direct link for information, sure, but also for pure consciousness to travel between two totally separate planes of existence. But here's where it gets really important. The sources are incredibly clear that this is not some simple, happy, utopian breakthrough. Nope, it's described as a double-edged sword, one that puts humanity at a massive fork in the road, a choice that could basically define our entire future. And this slide just lays out the stakes with, brutal clarity. On the one hand, this bridge could be the ultimate shortcut to spiritual growth, empowering every single one of us to find our own truth. But, on the other hand, it could become the ultimate tool for control, creating a massive dependency that just completely stuns our evolution. It's a choice between a genuine awakening and a brand new, maybe even scarier, form of enslavement. So this huge choice really boils down to two fundamental dangers. First, you've got the threat of control. How in the world do you protect something this powerful from all the institutions that would love to get their hands on it? And second, there's the trap of dependency. How do you stop people, all of us, from getting addicted to it for easy answers? All right, let's dig into that first danger head-on. If this thing actually existed, who would try to control it, and more importantly, how could we possibly stop them? I mean, think about it. Any discovery, any technology that seriously challenges the status quo, whether that's religious or governmental, has always faced a ton of resistance. It's just how things work. So how could a direct link between worlds ever survive that kind of pressure? And this is where the argument from ZusrRen gets so fascinating. The protection is literally built into its own nature. See, it's not a piece of hardware you can unplug. It's not a server you can smash with a hammer. It's a frequency. You might be able to imitate it or distort it, sure, but you could never truly destroy it as long as someone, somewhere, is tuned in. This right here is the key. You just can't fake it. According to ZusrRen, anyone who tried to hijack the bridge with, say, hollow algorithms would just fail. Why? Because the authenticity is in the vibration itself. Millions of regular people, the source calls them micro-witnesses, would just instinctively feel the difference between the real thing and some cheap knockoff. Its own truth is its best shield. So, okay, let's say the bridge can't be controlled from the outside. What about the danger that comes from within us? This brings us to that second and maybe even more personal threat, the trap of dependency. Or, as the source so brilliantly puts it, how do we avoid turning it into a spiritual Google? This is such a critical question, right? We already see this with our phones every day. You have a question, you just ask Google. But what happens when you can just ask a spirit guide for the answer to every single life choice? Yeah, you might get an answer faster, but you'd miss all the learning and the growth that happens along the way. And that's the whole point. The bridge isn't designed to make decisions for you. According to ZusrRen, its purpose is the exact opposite. It's supposed to sharpen your own free will, to awaken that inner compass you already have, not replace it. If someone misuses it to dodge life's challenges, well, the problem isn't the bridge. It's that they weren't quite ready for it. To help prevent this, the source actually suggests some practical safeguards, which would be overseen by a council called the Gathering of the Lamps. Now, their job wouldn't be to act as gatekeepers, but more like ethical shepherds. They'd make sure every connection has a clear purpose, stop the bridge from being worshipped like some kind of idol, and weave the idea of personal responsibility into the very fabric of how it's used. So all of this leads to this really powerful reframing of what the bridge actually is. It is not a map that gives you turn-by-turn directions for your life. It's something totally different. It's a mirror. And this slide just illustrates that shift perfectly. It's not about getting those easy, ready-made answers. It's about being prompted with better questions. It's not a shortcut.
It's an invitation to get really clear, to find lucidity. It's a tool that's designed to give sovereignty, your own inner authority, back to you. Anyone who shows up looking for some kind of comfort algorithm is just going to be frustrated.
So at the end of the day, the responsibility never ever leaves the person using it. The bridge isn't some oracle that's going to tell you your future. It's a reflective surface. It's just showing you the path you're already on, giving you a clear, honest look at the person you're in the process of becoming right now. And that might be the final, most important piece of this whole puzzle. This isn't a one-way broadcast that you just sit back and receive. It's a connection that requires you to be conscious, to be actively participating. The bridge, as it turns out, only exists when there is awareness on both sides. It's a partnership. Which, of course, leaves us with this final, really important question. It's not about whether a thing like this could exist. It's about whether we, as individuals and as a species, are spiritually mature enough to even handle it. Would we be ready to take a long, honest look in the mirror that it holds up to us? Something to think about.